This is what we're talking about live in just a few seconds. Are you ready to do this? I sure am. I could listen to that song all day long. Hello, everyone. Who's ready to improve your engagement? Maybe you want better engagement. Maybe you want more engagement, but that's why you're all here, right? So well, first of all, you're in the right place. I mean, that's good news. You are in the right place. And that's what we're getting after today. We are focusing on engagement. And this month, rather, we are going to tackle a couple of different things. So this month, all about engagement. This week, we are starting with measuring engagement. Now, don't just leave before you go. Just because we're measuring engagement does not mean this is going to be a boring snooze fest full of data. So I promise you, we will make it fun and you'll have a good time. Fair? Okay. After we get through measuring engagement, which is what we're going to start with this week, then the next 2 weeks are all going to be about the tactics that you can implement to impact or affect that particular piece of data. So how do we get more engagement on our videos and honestly on our posts as well? So if you are new to me or new to this group, my name is Jamie Hain, and I am a Get on Camera coach, otherwise known as a video coach. I help you create better videos. And we are now running this Facebook group, the Get on Camera Facebook group, like it is a membership, which means every month we focus on a different aspect of improving your videos. And if you apply what you learn each and every week, you're going to be able to create better videos. It's as simple as that. Now, what qualifies me to be able to talk about engagement? Facebook groups, on average, see about 80% engagement. That's the average, okay? I have this quarter, so far year to date, my engagement in my Facebook group is 1,240%. I'm almost embarrassed to even say that out loud. So the average is 80%. Mine is at 1,240%. And I went back and had to calculate like multiple times to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. Now, it is skewed because every quarter I do a Go Life challenge. So if I pull that challenge out, which does drive the engagement up, then I range in the 600 and 700%. 600 and 700% engagement. You guys, it's huge. And so that is what I'm going to share with you this month, is how you can get that same kind of engagement, whether you have a Facebook group or not, it doesn't matter. It's in your videos and in your posts. Are you with me? Are you ready to do this? Awesome. Okay. So here's what I want to know. How do you feel about math and numbers and data? So drop some comments for me. Is this like a space that you enjoy playing in? Is this like your sandbox? Like, yes, I love measuring data and having all my numbers and looking at it all. Or are you like, no. I will tell you a funny story. I loved math growing up. I had the world's best math teacher all through high school. And yes, I will argue with you until I'm blue in the face. He was the best, the world's best math teacher. And I think that definitely had an impact. I got to college and I thought I wanted to be a mathematician. Like I thought I wanted to, like that would be my life, math and statistics. And I'm sitting in my first statistics class and I'm looking around. And I'm saying, these are not my people. These are not my people. And so immediately after that first statistics class, I marched my little self over to the registrar's office, changed my major, which became a theme, but we're not here to talk about me. So I am not a big fan of math as an adult, but I see the value in it. And if you're anything like me, here is my commitment to you. I'm going to make this fun. Okay, first of all, and I'm also going to keep it super easy. So here's my ask. Can you commit to 10 minutes once a month? Can you commit to 10 minutes once a month? If you'll do that for me, that's all we're talking about. That limited amount of time, to look at your engagement numbers and make sure that you're making progress. That's my ask. So I would love to know in comments, let me know, can you commit to that 10 minutes once a month? You can commit to that. I know you can. Okay. So I'm seeing in text chat, love data. These are my favorite. No. And another one. No, indeed. Okay, but you guys are in. I see that the 10 minutes, there is a commitment to the 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. All right. So what we're going to do today, and now normally my goal here for these is 15 minutes. I'm going to go a little over today. I'm just telling you in advance. It's probably going to be 20. One is I needed to introduce this month, but because we're talking about data, I want to make sure that there's time for questions, and I want to make sure that you get this right. So this one will be a little bit longer than normal. Normally they're, 15 minutes max. Okay. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about 3 things. Number 1, we're going to talk about why. Why do we measure engagement or data at all? Number 2, I'm going to teach you how to measure this engagement. And then number 3 is the so what. This gets into that 10 minutes once a month. I'm going to give you some homework and make sure that you understand what to do going forward to move the needle forward in terms of measuring engagement. You guys with me? Awesome. Okay, before you pull out your calculators, I know you're eagerly excited waiting. I just can't wait to get on the calculator and give me a spreadsheet. Before we get there, let's talk about why. Why measure engagement? I'd love to know in the comments, why do you think measuring engagement is important? Why is it important to you? Drop some comments in there. I've come up with 2 main reasons. Number 1 is that it's a starting point. So you want more or better engagement. So how do you measure more or better? You have to have a starting point. You have to say, here is where I'm at right now with my engagement, so that as you deploy all of these different tactics, you can see results. You can see where you're going because you know where you started. So it is a starting point, okay? Number 2, I used to have a boss used to say to me all the time, what's measured matters. And what he meant by that was, if we as a company, this was when I worked for a major corporation, when we as a company say these are the data points we're focused on, that means it's important to us as a company. So you need to know that if we're asking about those numbers, those are the ones that matter. So let's reverse engineer that for all of you. If you want to improve your engagement, then you need to know your numbers, because when you know those numbers and when you focus on those numbers, heck, just because you're focused on them, you'll get better at them. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so I'm seeing this. Oh, I love this, Christy. People engaged are interested. Yes. If they are, engagement is this. Engagement is they're posting, they're commenting, they're giving you a reaction, a like, a love, a laugh, whatever it is. That's what engagement means. So if they are engaging, they are interested. However, I will say this to Christy and to all, just because they're not engaging doesn't mean they're not interested. You as the host, you as the person, the star in the video, it's your job to drive that engagement. And that's what we're going to be talking about this month. Okay. But measuring engagement, yes, Christy's right. You're measuring their interest. And if your numbers are low, then you've got some work to do. If your numbers are high, good for you, but keep going. There's always opportunity. There's always room for more. Okay. So that's the whys. That's the whys behind it. I would love to know what the rest of y'all think. Why measure engagement? The 2 reasons that I gave you, does that strike a chord with you? Are you like, yeah, as much as maybe I don't like math, Jamie's right. Okay. Now it is time to calculate. Now, I am going to walk you through I'm going to pull up a presentation because I think it's going to be easier for you to see as we talk about the different pieces of data. But here's my methods, if you will. I'm going to tell you how to measure it. I'm going to show you some equations. We're going to pull data so that you can see how it's done. And then I'll show you where the data comes from. So I know you're probably like, but where are you getting the data? Trust me, I'm going to get to that. But out of the gate, I want you to understand the actual measurement itself. Okay. So let me pull up my slide here. Hold on a moment. Where did it go? Okay. There are lots of ways that you can measure engagement. I promised you that we were going to keep this short and sweet and easy peasy. So I'm only going to talk about two. We're going to talk about how you measure engagement rate by post, and then also how you look at a monthly engagement rate. Now, we're going to use a group as an example, but don't worry, if you don't have a group, you can do a monthly engagement rate on your business page or on your personal profile. But we're going to focus on Facebook for today. You can do this with any platform. It doesn't matter. You just have to get the data from it, and then the calculation is the same. Okay, so let's talk about engagement by post. What you're going to do is you're going to take the total amount of engagement. So remember, what I said was reactions and comments are your engagement. You're going to take the total engagement and you're going to divide that by the total followers in whatever platform you're in. So if it's a group, it's how many people you have in your group. If it's on your page, how many followers do you have? And then you multiply it by 100, almost at 1,000, to just round it up and make it an easy percentage. Not round it up, but make it a percentage that you're reading. Okay, so let's do an example. This is, let me go bigger so you guys can see this better. This is a post inside my Facebook group. This is a video post. Okay. So in the bottom right-hand corner, what you're seeing is 69 comments. We're going to get to reach in a second. 69 comments on this video. But that's not enough. That's not your total engagement. What you're going to want to do is click on View Insights. And when you click on View Insights, you're going to get an additional box of data. Post engagement, this little guy right here, the 237, that's your number. Now, how did it get to 237? For those of you that are curious, I like it. It is adding up all of the views, video views, how many people viewed it, how many comments did you get, and then how much reaction. So this is likes, loves, shocks, laughs, cries, angers, whatever, all added up. So 153 plus 69 plus 2 plus 13. Got it? So all of that adds up to 237. All you got to worry about is the 237. That's the number you want. Okay. So what we're going to do is add up all those pieces to get to 237. We're going to take 237 divided by 689. 689 is how many people are in this Facebook group. Okay. And then you take that times 100 to get your number. So 237 divided by 689 times 100 is 34%. So that particular video got 34% engagement. Let's do another example. Let's do a post this time. So this is same Facebook group. This is just a post. What are you reading? Color block post. It had 72 comments, but that's not enough. We got to click on View Insights, and that's going to pull up total post engagement is 74. So we had 72 comments plus 2 likes got me to 74 post engagement. Now, same exact formula. 74 divided by 69 times your 100 gets you to 10%. 10% engagement. Okay. Let's look at these two numbers. This is absolutely a tangent. For anybody out there who is saying, I don't know that video really makes that big of a difference. Yeah, it does. Look at those numbers, 34% versus 10% on a post. Now, you might have posts that are higher. You might have videos that are higher. You might have things that are lower. This is just 2 examples. Okay. Now, I said we would talk about reach. So you can also measure that engagement rate in a particular post by reach. What the heck does that mean? So let me come off screen here. What that means is instead of dividing by the total number of people in your Facebook group, you're going to divide by the people who are active. No, scratch that. That's later. You're going to divide by reach. So in other words, we're saying in the first calculation, we're saying there are 689 people in this Facebook group. What was the engagement across the entire group? That was what we did first. Now, what if we just want to know what the engagement is based on who saw the video? That's what we mean by reach, okay? So we can do the same exact thing. Come on, computer. Oh, you probably need that to be a little bit bigger. Instead of dividing by total followers, you can divide by reach. So let's look at that. I'm just going to do the same video example, same exact video, right? I said we would talk about reach later. Here's what we're talking about reach. So in this particular case, this video had a reach of 115 people. Now, before you go, oh, wait a minute, Jamie. That doesn't jive because it says 153 views. This could be that people watched it multiple times. They maybe watched part of it, had to leave, came back. Reach is the number of people. Views is how many times they watched it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 115, and that becomes the number on the bottom of the equation. So you take 237 divided by 115 and multiply it out, and you get a percentage like 206. Okay. That means of the people who saw the video, it was a 200% engagement rate. That's freaking huge, you guys. Now, I also did this same calculation on a post. So you're just going to have to trust me on this. I'm not going to show you, but I wanted to show you this. Wow. So back to my comment earlier about why video is so powerful in terms of engagement. Look at the difference. The number of people who saw the video versus saw the post and engaged, look at the difference in numbers. So if you want more engagement, you got to be doing video. Okay. Hold on here. Let me go to the question. Does comments include our responses? Yes, it does. Yes. Facebook wants you to comment and respond to people. So the more you do that, it raises your engagement. But more than that, forget the data and the number for a second. Commenting or responding to somebody's comment starts a discussion. It starts a dialogue. And that's what Facebook is all about. That's why it counts. Okay, let's go back to the slides. Come on. There we go. Okay. So that's how you calculate, let me make myself a little bit bigger. That's how you calculate an individual post. Now, when I say I want you to spend 10 minutes a month, it's not calculating this on every single post. I'm just showing you that. So in case you're curious and you want to understand how to calculate engagement on a post for your own stuff, you now know that formula. The formula is the same when we start calculating monthly, but I'm going to show you this. I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. We seriously keep it to 10 minutes, I promise. Okay. Back to the slides. All right. So in a Facebook group, and I will tell you this, whether you're doing it on your business page or your personal profile, it's the same calculation. You're just going to get the data somewhere else. Okay. So for this example, we're just going to stay in Facebook group, but it's the same calculation no matter what. So it's the same formula. Engagement on posts divided by total followers. You're just going to take all the engagement for a month to calculate this formula. Okay. So you're going to be able to pull a report in your Facebook group. Again, you can get this data anywhere, and you're going to look at the last 28 days. That's a month, by the way, 4 weeks, 7 days in a week, 28 days. You can change this. So if you're out there and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to pull this data. I can't wait to pull this data. You can go back and pull it for January or pull it for February. You just got to change the dates. I'll show you that here in a sec. So you're going to take all of that data, and that's what goes into your formula. Okay. So I'll show you this in a sec. Trust me on that. So you're going to take all that engagement, your posts, your comments, and all your reactions. That equals 2,056 in my group. That's what my number was for March. And you're going to divide that by your total followers to get your number. So in this particular case, 2,056 total, all of those engagements divided by the number of people in my group gets me to 298%. Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Jamie, at the very beginning of this, you said you were at 600 and 700. I did. So let's talk about that. You can also divide by the number of active members. Just like before when we were talking about reach on a specific post, you can look at your group and say, if I just really want to look at the people who are active in my Facebook group. So instead of taking this same number, scroll a little bit further down in your post, and you're going to see something that says number of active members. So I know I have 689, whatever that number was, in my group. I have 330 active members. That means of the 689, 330 people did something inside this group in this month, in this period of time. That's what active means, okay? So I'm going to take my 2,056, same number, but I'm going to divide it by those 330 active team members, and that gets me to 623. So my engagement rate in my group for the month of March was 623%. Okay? All right. Let's just look at the difference there. So 298 was total people in my group. 623 was just active members. At this point, it doesn't matter which way you want to measure it. The important part is that you are consistent with the way in which you calculate it going forward so that you can compare and contrast. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay? It's whatever just feels better to you. If you want to, if your goal, let me come off this. If your goal is that you want everybody in your group to get engaged, then you're going to want to be using that as your denominator so that it motivates you to keep pushing forward. If you're like, you know what, my group has been dead for 2 years, I'm just going to focus on active members because those people are engaged and they're interested. This goes back to what Christy said earlier, interested people. Again, you pick which one you want to use. It's whatever resonates most with you. They all work. And I will tell you, there are a gazillion, well, maybe not a gazillion, probably 20 other ways that you can measure engagement. If you want to go down this rabbit hole, Hootsuite is a good one. They actually have a calculator you can download. You may have to sign up for the trial in order to get the download, but you can dive into all the data all you want if you like. But what I want to give you now is an easy way to measure this 10 minutes a month. Okay, there's a question here. Let me tackle that, and then I'll show you where the data is. Is this only in a group or personal Facebook profile also? You can measure this anywhere. It doesn't even have to be on Facebook. You can measure it on LinkedIn. You can measure it on Instagram. Same formula. It's where you get the data that's going to change. Okay. Now, I will tell you that on a Facebook group and a business page, they make it easy for you because they give you insights. So you don't have to keep calculating anything. You're just going to pull a report and there's your number. Easy. That's what you're going to need to do 10 minutes a month. On your personal profile, if your personal profile is set to professional mode, then you can get this data. You will have insights. If it's not set to professional mode, guess what? You're going to have to count every post and every engagement. So depending on how often you post on your personal profile, that may be a little bit of work for you. So that definitely won't count in 10 minutes, but it's another reason why you really want to do professional mode. You can easily turn it on. If you don't know how to turn it on, you can Google it. How do I turn on professional mode on Facebook? And it's step by step. Okay. Now I want to show you, let me see if there's any other questions. I'm going to show you where to get this data. Hold on a second. I got a screen share. Are you guys liking this so far? Is this helpful? I sure hope so. Why is it not? Oh, I see. I don't have it open. All right, hang on. Like, why is it not letting me show you all this? All right, now we should be able to share screen and we should be able to go to Facebook. Okay. You are now in Facebook. I am not responsible for anything that pulls up here. Any beeps or alerts that come up, I am not responsible for whatever you see, even in my feed. Okay, there's my legal disclaimer. All right, so I'm going to go into Get on Camera. This is my Facebook group. And if I scroll down on the left-hand side, you're going to scroll down to, where's my scroll? Scroll down to Engagement. Click on Engagement. Up here, you are going to want to make sure you turn on all, because you don't want to, you can look at posts, comments, reactions, but all is what you want for this. And then there's your numbers right there in the middle. 69 posts, 913 comments, 1,089 reactions. Here, if you do this drop down, is where you can change, and you can look at the last week, and it'll change the data. You can look at the last 60 days, change the data, or you can custom and you can say, I want to go all the way back and I want to run January data update. There's January. So if you are somebody who's like, okay, it's April 4th, but I want to know all my numbers all the way back to the beginning of the year, it's a couple of clicks and you can get it. Okay. It does not do active members. So what I would tell you to do in that case, if you just go to the last 28, just use the last 28 and you'll be good to go. Okay. Okay. That is where you find it in a group. So you go into your group, scroll down to engagement, and there's your data. Let's talk about where it's at on your page. So you're going to go to your page. I'm not very active in my page. Telling you that now. So you're going to see pretty crappy numbers. So I'm going to go into my page. I got to switch users. Oh, this is going really long. See? It's okay. It's good stuff though, right? You guys are liking this? Same thing. This time it's called Insights. Look at that. Same data. Okay. Post reach, post engagement. You can pull it that way. Let's go into personal. So I got to switch back. It's always weird when you pull up a group and you're live, you're doing a screen share of you live. It's like trippy. It's like that mirror and a mirror and a mirror and a mirror. Okay. Now I'm on my personal profile and I'm going to go into tools. This is on professional mode only. Okay. If you're not professional mode on your personal profile, guess what? You're manually going through and calculating it all. But if you go to view tools, look at that. Post reach, post engagement. See more insights. You can dig into the data. Okay. All right. Stop sharing. See if you guys have questions. All right. That's how you calculate it and where you find the data. If you have questions, drop them in the comments and I'll make time to answer. If we don't get to it today, because I am going to for sure wrap us up here, I will come back and answer any questions because I want to make sure that you get this. Okay. Very helpful. I love it. So Stephanie says, very helpful. Christy says, questions drive your engagement. Yes, they do. And we're going to talk more about that in the next couple weeks. It's like you guys are setting me up perfectly for where we're going next. Okay. So what? So what? Now that we have all of this data, see, I told you it'd be fun and easy. Now what are you going to do about it? Okay. You are going to be in competition with yourself. Do not worry about anybody else. I will tell you this, average engagement is between 1% and 5%. In a Facebook group, it's more like 80%. So another reason, if you don't have a group, you might want to consider it because there's way more engagement in there. Those are averages based on all of the people that are in Facebook. But you're not in competition with those people. Don't worry about those people. Worry about yourself. So earlier I said you want to have a starting point. Figure out what your starting point is and then measure your engagement based on that starting point. That is your goal. That is your homework. What I would tell you to do is the first of every month, put it on your calendar. Measure engagement first day of every month and go back and look at the last 28 days, or you can do the custom sort, whichever you want, and pull that piece of data. Create a spreadsheet or a tracker, however you want to use it, and watch your progress. Are you getting better? Are you getting more engagement? Yes or no? You maybe have to try some different things. If your engagement is high, like my engagement is high, 600% and 700% is crazy. I just want to maintain that. Now, would I like more? Of course, who wouldn't, right? But you can even pull the data. Like I ran some numbers yesterday just because I was interested and said, okay, if I pulled out all of my videos and looked at engagement, how much lower would that engagement number be? Anybody have a guess? If you had to guess. So let's just say my engagement in my group with all the videos was 600%. What do you suppose it was if I pulled out all the videos? What kind of engagement you think it was? I'd love to see your guesses. Okay, so what you're going to do, you have homework. Your homework is to do this. Calculate your starting point. Doesn't matter whether you have a group or a page or a profile. Know your starting point. If you want to go back so that you have January and February data, awesome. Put it on a tracker and make sure that you're paying attention to it as you start to manipulate and impact these numbers. That's your goal. Now, the next 2 weeks, we are going to focus on what are the things that you can do to improve your engagement. Doesn't matter where your number is, you have your starting point. You're in competition with yourself. How are you going to get that number better? That's what we're going to talk about. What are all of the different ways that you can do that? That's next week and the week after. The last week in April is our Go Live Challenge. Yay. Okay. I will do 2 things. I will have a post tomorrow, Wednesday, for you to put your homework in there. And it is not about shaming or anything like that. It is about accountability so that you do this homework and you put it out there. So it's somewhere you've got some sort of starting point so you can measure yourself against that. So watch for that post tomorrow. I'll also do a post on additional questions, because it's one thing while you're sitting here watching me and you're like, I got this. And then tomorrow you go and you actually try to calculate and you're like, I don't got this. So there's going to be a post for you to ask questions. If you want to share your data and be like, help, I can't figure it out. That's what it's there for. Okay. Now, for those of you that are in the Go Live League, we have a call to apply all that you're learning this month. That's on the third Thursday. So don't miss that call if you need help calculating, if you need help reading your data, finding your data. And then we're also going to spend that time talking about how you start to impact that data. So this is one, if this is of interest to you, you're going to want to make sure you make that call. For those of you that are like, wait, I want to be on that call. You can come and join us. You can join the Go Live League. It's $27 a month. This is the last month. It's going to be $27. Going up. The price is going up. So, and you lock in at whatever price you're paying. So those of you that are in, you are locked in until you leave. You don't have to pay a penny more. If that's something you're interested, let me know. Also, Go Live League members, I'm going to give you a spreadsheet tracker so you don't have to create a tracker. I'll give it to you so you've got it. Okay. All right. What additional questions do you have before I wrap us up? Okay. I love this. You guys are so awesome. Okay. Is there a cost for professional mode? Nope. And it's an easy button. You literally click a button and it's on. If you decide for whatever reason, you're like, I don't like this, you can click it off. This is not a call about professional mode. So I'm going to avoid the tangent. Those of you that heard me talk about tangents, we're not going 20 miles out of our way. We're going to stay focused. Pros and cons. I see mostly benefit, and the fact that you can turn it off is why I'm going in. And if I'm going to be focusing on my personal profile, that's where my opportunity is. Me personally, I got to do more on my personal profile. So I've turned it on so that I get those insights, so that I can be tracking this engagement. All right. I don't see any other questions. Love all this positive feedback. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You are so, so welcome. Very helpful. So helpful. I agree. It's good stuff, right? And who would have thought numbers would be fun? Okay, let me wrap us up and look at this. 30 minutes, 32 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I promise going forward, they will be shorter. Now, I say that. That is my intention. If we find that they're not, then I got to change my marketing. And instead of saying 15 minutes or less, it'll be 30 minutes or less. I would love to know your thoughts on this. If you're like, no, I like this extra time, then maybe I'm off in terms of thinking you guys want shorter bits and tips. I love this. Okay, Christy's already calculating. I love it. Do you want to share your number? I'm not putting any pressure on, but you can certainly do it. And Stephanie says worth every minute. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Let me wrap this up. It is powerful when you know your numbers. I love what Stephanie and Christy said, just the excitement around this, right? Because when you know what your starting point is, you can see progress. You can see the needle move. And that is exciting. That's when it gets fun. Okay. So what you have learned today is that you've learned how to do this. You've learned why it's important, but you are going to set your starting point. Where am I at right now? No judgment, no beat down, none of that, but where am I at right now so that I can monitor where I'm going? How much better am I getting at this? When you focus on these numbers, that is when you're going to get better. Just by the sheer act of focusing on it is going to help you get better. But the tactics that we're going to talk about over the next couple weeks are the things that you can do to grow and move that needle as it relates to engagement. That is what I'm so excited about, because the goal inside this group is that you get better and better and better every 30 days. We're going to take a little aspect. We're going to get better at it. Better, better, better. It's like building blocks. What are they called? Legos. We're building Legos all around video, marketing, and honestly, all this applies to social media too. This is not just about video. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for humoring me. Thank you for playing with me. Go get your calculators. I can't wait to see your numbers, and I can't wait to talk to you next week when we get into the good stuff. All right, everybody. Bye.